Let's talk about the things that really matter. Let's go from cooking oil flights to Rwanda flights. I'd love a straight answer to this question because nobody will give me a straight answer. I don't understand. I'm not even going to argue about Rwanda because that's 500 people. Can you explain to me why a government that's been in power for 13 years, not disrespecting you at all by this question, why you can't say we need to create a processing system that deals with 170,000 people, be they legal or illegal? Because one of the things that's pretty damn sure, Mark Harper, is in the next election, the people of this country want an answer to the immigration issue, and they're not getting it, are they?
Well, look, two halves of that question. So firstly, on legal migration, the Prime Minister was very clear that it's too high. We've already made some big policy decisions this year which will take effect and start driving down the numbers. For example, to stop the dependence of people coming here to education. That'll take 150,000 off of the numbers coming here legally, so that'll get those numbers going in the right direction. On illegal migration, which you also asked about, we've already made progress, so we've seen a 30% reduction this year in those crossing the Channel. That's at a time when the numbers in other European countries are going up. There's more to do. That's why the Home Secretary yesterday was setting out in the House of Commons the range of measures we're taking. So lots of progress, more to do. Prime Minister's very focused. We're not going to let anything stand in our way.
Mark,
when you say you're not going to let anything stand in your way, do you mean something such as the ECHR?
Well, look, we've set out our plan. We've got a new treaty which we're just getting to the tail end of negotiating with Rwanda. That will be then put into law in Parliament. We're going to be introducing emergency legislation. We think the combination of those two things will deal with all of the concerns that the Supreme Court set out in its recent decision. That means we'll be able to get flights to Rwanda off the ground in the spring. What that will do is break the business model of these organised crime groups that traffic people across the Channel,
Mark,
putting their lives at risk.
How many passengers are there on a single, for example, Boeing airplane? What's the capacity?
Well, look, the whole point about the flights to Rwanda is about breaking the business model so that people.
But how many people on a single airplane?
That if they come to. Well, it depends how big the aeroplane is. It's a few hundred people.
A Boeing 747.
The point is, it means that people will know that they can't stay in Britain if they come here illegally. That means they won't pay criminal gangs thousands of pounds to cross the Channel.
But
as
Mark,
we saw when we changed the law and the deal with.
I'm just talking about mathematics here, Mark. If one single flight to Rwanda can take, let's say, a few hundred people, and the capacity of the Rwanda policy is 500 people, how is it supposed to work as a deterrent?
Once you show people, if they come to Britain illegally, they can't stay here, then they won't pay people traffickers thousands of pounds to cross the Channel. It has a deterrent effect. What happened when we signed the new deal with Albania is we saw a 92% reduction.
So where do you put the people, Mark? Where do you put the people who would go on the second aeroplane? Where do you put them? Because you can't take them to Rwanda because there's no capacity. So where do they go? Do they stay in our asylum backlog?
Once we've shown people, well, look, you have to do a range of things. So Rwanda is an important part of the policy, but it's not the only thing we're doing. You also have to do returns agreements, like we've done with Albania. That very quickly reduced. That was a deal struck by the Prime Minister. That reduced the number of Albanians coming here by 92%. You have to do a range of things. And as I said, already this year, when we've seen more illegal migrants going to European countries, we've actually reduced the number coming to Britain by a third. So that is good progress, but I absolutely accept there's more to do. The government's very focused on delivering it. We've got a range of policies that will help deliver this for people. We know how important it is. The Prime Minister is very focused on delivering it. We'll deliver this policy just like we've delivered our policies on the economy and halving inflation.